Wild Talents, by Charles Hoyfort, Chapter 10a. Relatively to the principles of modern science, werewolves cannot be. But I know of no such principle that is other than tautology or approximation. It is myth stuff. Then, if relatively to a group of phantoms, werewolves cannot be, there are at least negative grounds for thinking that they are quite likely. Relatively to the principles, or lack of principles, of ultra-modern science, there isn't anything that can't be, even though also it is not clear how anything can be. So my acceptance, or pseudo-conclusion, is that werewolves are quite likely and likely. Once upon a time, when minds were dosed with the pill theory of matter, werewolves were said to be physically impossible. Very little globs were said to be the ultimates of matter, and were supposed to be understandable, and people thought they knew what matter is. But the pills have rolled away. Now we are told that the ultimates are waves. It is impossible to think of a wave. One has to think of something that is waving. If anybody can think of crime, virtue, or color, independent of somebody who is criminal, virtuous, or colored, that thinker, or whatever, may say that he knows what he is talking about, in denying the existence of anything, upon physical grounds. To say that the ultimate waves are electrical comes no closer to saying something. If there is no definition of electricity better than that of saying that it is a mode of motion, we're not enlighteningly told that the ultimate waves are moving motions. My suspicion is that we've got everything reversed, or that all things that have the sanction of scientists, or that are in agreement with their myths, are ghosts, and that things called ghosts are, because they are not in agreement with the spooks of science, the more nearly real things. I now suspect that the spiritualists are reversedly right, that there is a ghost world, but that it is our existence, that when spirits die they become human beings. I now have a theory that once upon a time, we were real and alive, but departed into this state that we call existence, that we have carried over with us from the real existence, from which we died, the ideas of truth, and of axioms and principles and generalizations, ideas that really meant something when we were really alive, but that, of course, now, in our phantom existence, which is demonstratable by any X-ray photograph of any of us, can have only phantom meaning, so then our never-ending, but always frustrated search for our lost reality. We come upon chimera and mystification, but persistently have beliefs, as retentions from an experience in which there were things to believe in. I'd not say that all of us are directly ghosts. Most of us may be the descendants of the departed from the real existence, who, in our spook world, pseudo-propagated. Once upon a time, but in our own times, there were two alleged marvels that were sources of uncommon contempt, or amusement, to scientists. They were the transformation of elements into other elements, and the transformation of human animals into other animals. The history of science is a record of the transformations of contempts and amusements. I think that the idea of werewolves is most silly, degraded, and superstitious, therefore I incline toward it respectfully. It is so laughable that I am serious about this.